very windy. That's the bin men just over the hedge there. I come to sit out in the sun though because it's cold indoors, and warm outside, but sorry. It's not really conducive for sitting out at the front of the house when you've got the guys in and out painting. So they're still painting the kitchen. They're so thorough, so thorough. I am very impressed, although I want them to be quicker. So there wasn't any painting yesterday. It was more, I'm on a tripod, which I'm going to fix in a minute. It was more prepping and masking this morning, and so they did lots of prepping. And then this morning Matthew was painting the ceiling with a roller, and the other one, whose name I don't know still. Those bluebells are pretty. Was cutting in round the ceiling and the wall. Hello. How are you? I've been watching lots of sheep and lots of baby lambs, and I'm so tempted to get lots of baby lambs to gamble round the garden the way you do. But I won't. So, yes, very thorough. But the big pots of paint are in now. It's very quiet down here. That's a bit worrying. Oh, they're all over there. I'll let them out in a minute. I just thought I'd show you the little bits of wisteria that have come out. There's some up there. Gonna let these chickens out now. So yeah, the ceiling has had at least one coat. I don't know whether that's I don't know how quickly it dries off for the next coat. There. It's really strutting like a soldier, aren't you? Oh, don't have gateworm. Don't be having gateworm, Mr. Cockerel. No, I think he's okay. Ooh. So yeah, the other thing is there's this whole myth about the 2-hour lunch break and, you know, the French not working. Well, these guys turn up at 8 o'clock every morning. I'm going to pause you whilst I set the tripod up. They turn up at 8 o'clock every morning and work till midday, go off at midday to get their lunch, and then come back at 1 and then work till 5. So that's an 8-hour day, and plus their lunch. And they work hard and they get on with it. They're doing a really good job and cleaning up after themselves. That's what's so impressive, is the cleaning up after themselves. So I think it's a bit of a myth, this whole thing about French workmen, and, you know, and these guys will have, I think, in France, you can't just become a painter and decorator. You can't just become a carpenter. You have to go to college and you have to get a qualification. And you can't do what we would do in the UK and move from one job to another using transferable skills. You have to go into the trade that you've trained in. So these guys will have trained at college to be whatever it is, that I don't know what their trade is. I mean, I think these two are definitely the painter and decorator part of the team. We've met 4 team members, I think. I don't know how many he's got in his team, but yeah, they have to go to college and learn their trade, and they can't just go off and do it without having been trained, and it shows. I mean, we've never employed anybody to do painting and decorating. It's not something that you do, is it? It's like you do, and you, hold on a minute, you're on a bit of a tilt. That's probably no different. Still looks a bit tilty to me, but whatever. No, we've always done our own painting and decorating, but it's been some time since Mark has picked up a paintbrush and painted a bedroom or our bedroom's got painted several years ago, and he's just not up for that now. So having it done professionally is quite fascinating to watch it being done properly. And were they wallpapering, I certainly wouldn't need felt tip pens to fill in the gaps. So that's good. Might need those for later on in the year when we decide to peel that expensive wallpaper off in the laundry room. But yeah, it's really lovely to see them, using the skill that, their trade and their skill to do a really good job. And we were talking to Matthew yesterday because he painted the shutters and was saying, what do you think of the volley? And we said, really lovely. Did you paint them? Yes, he did. And I said, are they going to need doing every couple of years? And he said, no. He reckons there'll be 7 years before they need doing. And I didn't quite catch why. And I know that they have a lacquer finish somewhere, but I also know that in this heat, well, not this heat particularly, but in our summer heat, they peel, that eventually the heat, the sun, and then the rain and the constant getting wet, getting dry, and then the winter just attacks the shutters, and they really, really suffer in the weather. So we'll certainly keep an eye on them and make sure that they are refreshed as often as they need refreshing. Oh God, you're still silted, I can't bear it. That's better. In my defence, I'm sitting on the concrete apron bit in front of this building, and it does slope a bit, so that's why you were tilted. That looks better to me. So yeah, very impressed, and I don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. I guess it's second coat tomorrow. I suppose it just depends on how quickly they dry off. I could hear the roller going, and it sounded like it was on the ceiling, so I'm wondering whether he's doing the second coat on the ceiling already, which is brilliant. It looks stunning. It's just a ceiling. To everybody else, it's just a ceiling. But that ceiling has been... I've hated those ceilings for, quite a lot of years. When we first came here, I put you on me for a bit. I know that you prefer the chickens, but I ought to have you on me as well, just to prove that I exist. We first came here, this will be year 17 later on in the year. We loved the quaintness, we loved the Frenchness, we loved all the parts of it that made it seem French. And as the years have gone on, we've loved them less and less. And that ceiling with those planks between the beams that had gaps in, and all the poo falling down, and all the bloody hibernating rodents in the ceiling, has really, really been difficult for quite a few years, but we've never been in a position to be able to do anything about it. This is not going to be cheap, this transformation, but that ceiling in the kitchen, even before it's finished, even before the lighting's put in, it's just amazing to have a beautiful, clean, flat ceiling. The beams in the lounge will continue to be revealed, but there will be less of them because they are so bendy, and that to get level they've had to drop down, so we're losing probably a third of the height with the beams, but it doesn't really matter. The blue paint isn't how I thought it was going to be. Looking at it in the tin, or looking at the lid, it is the paint we chose. We sent numbers to Christoph and said these are our choices, and it is the paint we chose. I've been going around to Mark saying, that's the colour we've chosen, this really dark blues, and he's going, God, a bit dark. But the blue that's come in the tin is not that dark. It'll be fine. It'll be clean, and it'll look lovely, and that's all that matters now. So I spoke to Christoph this morning. He was there briefly, and I said to him, and finished by next Friday, and he went, oh oui, non maman. And I went, non maman, bien sûr, pas non maman. Normally, Yeah, fucking normally. So he did say several days ago that the kitchen will be finished by tomorrow. So we'll have the kitchen back this weekend. But I don't have my cooking utensils in there. I don't have my drawers for all my cutlery. I don't, all of that stuff. I don't have my work surface. I don't have my, so it's sort of back, but I'll still be between two rooms. But it does mean that there's a shelf unit that Mark can put back on the wall, and my spice rack with my spices have been packed. I bought some chili flakes today so that I can do smashed avocados on toast. So I'll have chili flakes to put in the spice rack. I've got some garlic granules and I got some onion flakes. I'll put those in, but that's it really. Are you gonna crow, or just make that sort of noise? Huh? Mr. Ellis, me turn the air blue with swearing when I hurt myself. How could you? I had to actually walk away and walk into the. What did I do? Oh no, when I was upstairs, I was silent. When I'm on my own, very rarely do I use expletives. I just go really quiet. Probably say it in my head. But once I've hit this hand, once I've hit this finger and I'm struggling with it and having to sort of protect it, it becomes more vulnerable, and I knock it another couple of times. And I knocked it again yesterday in the bunker, and I did swear. But I toned it down a bit and had to walk out to the garage so I could really let loose, because the guys are the other side of the door. Not that that matters, I'm sure that they heard me anyway. I think the worst bit for me is the toilet upstairs is the only toilet we can use now since a couple of days ago. We've been able to use the downstairs toilet at lunchtime and when there's nobody about, but that's all sort of protected by plastic, and the cistern's protected by plastic and whatever, ready for painting. And the worst thing for me, and I think it's probably, I don't know whether it's because I'm a woman, but I'm sitting on the loo upstairs knowing there could be somebody right beneath me painting the ceiling and hearing me. I'm really finding that hard. I'm sure I'll survive. Do you want to see more of the chickens? I'm going to show you more of the chickens. Yeah, there. They're sort of disappearing up the garden now, so you can't. It's difficult for me to see what you can see as well, because it's quite bright out here. I've only noticed one gold Brahma. I'm going to go off. I'll leave you here. You keep an eye on these lot. And I'm just going to go and see if I can find Mrs. Brahma. Right, where is she? I bet she's sunbathing. Dust bathing. Hein? Et toi? Cat. Cat œuf. Gonna have a dust bath in here now. Ida's gone in the chicken coop. I think she wants to be a chicken. Are you being a chicken? Or are you eating food? So we've been shopping this morning, and I bought more than I expected to. I sort of need to get my head round, you know, oh, I could do this, I could make that, you know, with my limited facilities. So I managed to come up with, what have I got? 1, 2, 3 meals, which will get us through the weekend, I think. Oh, well, no, we're out tomorrow. We're meeting Lizzie tomorrow. So we're out for lunch tomorrow, and so I just need to do Saturday, Sunday, so I can do Monday as well. So I've got enough for that, and I bought some more fruit. I bought some Brussels because we like Brussels. I know a lot of people don't. Oh, and I bought Marmite at the British shop at the Hope shop. I bought some Marmite because that went off in the van, and I'd got big jars of Marmite, and I thought I'd got one left spare, and I hadn't, and I really miss Marmite on toast. It's, you know, we've got peanut butter, and crunchy peanut butter, I quite like that, but I like Marmite on toast, and so yeah, I bought Marmite. You'll be pleased to know, I know that you'll be pleased to know, that's why I told you. So somebody says in comments that they're looking forward to seeing a vlog of the Hope shop. There is one. There is a vlog of the Hope shop last year. If you put Hope shop, put Hope shop in the search in my videos, you'll come across it. I will be going down again, I think, in June. I think I'm being invited for something, but they won't tell me what. They said, watch this space, we've got something exciting happening to tell you about. So I will be going down in June, and I will actually vlog, because I looked at the vlog the other day, and it's really awful. It's before I upgraded to this phone that's got stabilization on it, and it was when I was trying to use the gimbal and the gimbal went wrong. So it's really quite a crappy vlog, and so it will be nice to do another one, and I will definitely do that. It's very hot down there in the summer, though. It's very the wind, you know, it's got lots of big shop windows that let the sun in. I think it probably faces the same way I'm facing now, so it'll be very hot. But I will go down in June, because I'd like to do another video of it. I'd like to do a video and do it justice, because it's an amazing shop, absolutely amazing. Anything that you want, it's got, including Zimmer frames and commodes. So I was eyeing those up and wondering whether to reserve some whilst we were there. When we were shopping, I was moving quickly again, which, you know, impresses me. It's like, oh my God, how am I doing this? And I turned around because Mark had got the trolley, and said to him, how are you doing? How are your knees doing with keeping up? And he went, pretty well, really. And I'm just absolutely gobsmacked, because he wasn't keeping up with me some weeks back, and he was, you know, didn't really want to come in the shop with me. And we'd pulled out today as we were driving out, and he went, there, that was good. And I went, what? That was good. It was nice to get out and do something. I went, but you never want to come shopping with me. So it really has changed him. It's really, you know, made life easy for him, and I hadn't realised quite how hard his life had become. So yeah, so he was keeping up with me. So we really are going to be, you know, able to walk as far as we may need to next month, which is good. Okay, I could go on and on and on, as you know, so I'm going to stop now. I hope you've had enough chickens. I'm sorry I haven't got lambs gambling around. It is so lovely watching the lambs because I see their behaviour. She's sitting down over there. You can't really see her. She's laying down sunbathing. You see their behaviour, running round and round, chasing round and round. They don't know what they're chasing, but everybody's chasing. And like you see little schoolboys sometimes, chasing, I don't know, seeing if they can beat somebody on a bike or beat that car or beat that motorbike, and they go running up the road. Well, this is what the lambs are doing. The feeder is going along, putting food into the food troughs, and it's a motorized thing, and it's going up, and the lambs seem to be like these little boys chasing it. And our lambs, when we had 3 sheep, we had Mum, and we had her half brother and Ida. Some evenings, always at dusk, so difficult to film, but some evenings they would charge around the garden, and it would be like a train, or you'd hear this bouncing, because sometimes they'd be bouncing on all 4 feet, and you could hear them coming, and you knew to get out of the way. But they just charged around like lunatics. You're having fun playing. I think that's what's so lovely, is watching them play. Now, the hens don't really play, but the sheep do, and she does on days when she's happy. As I've said, when Mark's here as well and we come down and she's had a good day, then she'll do her uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, somebody's going to get a seeing too. Yeah, well, on days when she's happy, she comes charging, gambling up, and often they bounce across sideways. It's wonderful to watch. And when she's gone, I'm going to miss that. I'm going to really miss that. And as I've said, we're too old now to be managing more sheep. It was a lovely idea. I think she's probably 8 or 9 years ago. It was a lovely idea. And they kept the grass down, the 3 of them, and it was really nice. But now we've had experience of having her when I've not been well, so I've not been well enough to do anything, and Mark's his knees have gradually got worse and whatever. So it's really not fair on animals to have them and not be able to give them the best care. Luckily for us, she has very little needs, and okay, did I say I was going? See, I told you I'd ramble on. I've rambled on. Okay, I am going now. I've got to pick those eggs up and carry you back round the front. Okay, have a nice Thursday.